something I've been working on for quite a few years at the Capitol now, is explicit content in our libraries.
Oh, please.
In the
People
schools.
need to know this. Please, can you just take a few minutes and explain what is going on in our libraries?
A mess. Let's just summarize with that.
Yeah.
So we fought to get explicit content out of schools. That has worked to an extent, except the loop around now has been the public schools are partnering with the libraries to get them library cards through the school to be able to get their books from there.
Why
so
are
they're
these
getting the explicit
so
content.
obsessed with doing spiritual forces of wickedness. That's why.
Yes.
But continue.
So I can say, and people can argue all day long, but I can tell you that pornography is a pipeline to sex trafficking. It just goes together.
And you know this from firsthand experience.
I've
Mandy,
worked with
you are
survivors.
A very credentialed person to, yeah.
I have worked with survivors for years, and I'm telling you how the brain is changed through consumption of pornography it matters. And it truly is a physical change in the brain that happens, that mapping, that directions change. And so it becomes a deeper and deeper and deeper addiction. Kids are now the average age of exposure to pornography is now 8 years old.
I'm not surprised.
Those little brains are developing so much. And what we don't need to be putting in to their books and things is Jacob's new dress is all like we don't need to be worrying about any of this in our sweet little books, right?
Well,
the kids don't need to be infiltrated with their two mommies and their two daddies or just these different moral dynamics.
Well, they have a God-given identity, but they're also kind of a blank slate. And God has given us, who are, the leaders in society, a responsibility to impress the truth on them, not perversion.
Yes.
Yes,
and we are perverting our kids in their childhoods. And so what a lot of people don't realize is, and I know that I've mentioned this before, but I'm just going to keep hammering on it. Librarians, when you sign your child up for a library card, you no longer have rights to what they are borrowing from the library. The librarians
if I have a 6-year-old that goes up to the little old lady who's the librarian in my small town, and that child gets a library card, and he wanders down the hallway and finds a book that's explicit.
Oh, don't worry, it's not down the hallway because the banned books are put right up front.
Okay,
so when they walk in the doors and get their little banned book, with very explicit content, a lot of, I don't need to get too graphic, but you can't read them in legislative session because they say it's too explicit. You can't read them in school board meetings because they're too explicit, but they are assigned readings in our schools. And so we fought this.
And there's protection in the law,
yes,
right?
Yes. So for a teacher or a librarian, they are protected by the law. And there's this loophole, whereas if I provide explicit content to my kids, I can federally be charged with exposure of pornography and explicit content to a minor.
Right.
However, if a teacher or librarian provides that same content to them, there's no legal ramifications. And so my fight has been the teachers and librarians cannot have more access and legal rights to my children than I have.
Absolutely not.
And so what I have also fought is I'm also a birth provider and educator. I have this... I have a weird resume. I retired.
It's great. Yeah,
I retired after
it.
over 300 births. But as a birth provider, I would always say, my job is to educate pros, cons, risks, benefits, and then you get to make an informed choice about what the best fit is for you and your family. What's the fit for you may not be the fit for me, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
Because you get to decide what that is. And so with the schools, I've said, hey, here's the deal. Or for the libraries and the explicit content, I've said, you and I may completely disagree on what's appropriate and what's in and what's not. However, my taxpayer dollars should not be paying for pornography to give to children. My taxpayer dollars shouldn't be paying and supporting the pornography industry, period.
Obviously not, yeah. And I don't care if you wrap it up in a nice looking textbook. Pornography is pornography, right?
I don't want my money backing it, right? I'm not going down that pipeline.
Yeah.
And so in subcommittees, I have said, here's the deal. You and I can disagree on if that's how we should educate children on healthy sexual engagement, because that's your argument, is that we need to provide healthy sexual education, and providing a array of different sexual experiences is a part of that. You and I can disagree on whether that's not on
Yeah,
whether or not
whatever.
that's a
We're
good.
setting that aside for the purpose of this argument.
Yes, for the purpose of this argument,
yeah.
we're setting that aside. I can say you and I can disagree, but as a parent, if you choose to buy that book for your child to educate them in that way, that is what you get to do. But my taxpayer dollars shouldn't be doing it. However, I can't legally say that because if you as a parent buy that same book, you are now distributing pornography to a minor and you are now facing
you're a
federal charges.
Criminal,
yes.
Yeah.
Whereas if the librarian or the school teacher provides it, then it's education.
I mean, wow.
So we need to get that changed in law. We need parents. If there is no other argument present here, we need to say that parents have the same legal rights as teachers and librarians to our children.
Which, I mean...
That seems the very basic here.
I mean, that's very, very basic, but which that is already the case, right? We're the nation that holds it to be self-evident that these rights come from the Creator. We are endowed by our Creator with the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, what is contained within those is if you're a parent, you have a God-given right to have authority over your child's education. Yes. And to whatever degree our government violates that, or our school boards or school districts or anything violate that, that is an expression of violation of the law of the United States, or just the principles that we're founded on.
Yes.
You know, it's just totally unacceptable.
I think that education is key, right? Because a lot of parents just have no clue. A lot of people have no clue. Most people didn't even
too
know.
busy. They're running around doing 5,000 other things.
And they just don't know that you now no longer have access to what your kids are getting at the library. You don't know because you go, oh, this is a great thing. We're growing their minds. We're joining the library. We're doing this. There are some great librarians. There are some wonderful ones. There are some that I have fought in subcommittees that are not wonderful. Yeah. And I don't want them having access to what's being instilled in my kids.
Well, and what this